You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay, and this is a program called
The Absolutely Wonderful World of Wardini Books.
I'll have to add that to the title when I put it up on the web. You're absolutely right. And it's my pleasure, as always, to have in the studio the absolutely wonderful Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock, but you also have a shop in Napier. And I suppose we're getting ready to go gangbusters for Christmas.
Yes, yeah, and Booksellers New Zealand have come up with this October is the new December sort of tagline, and they've done all these graphics for Facebook and stuff. And that's really how it is, because if you want a book for Christmas, a specific one, and you go shopping for it in December, there's no chance we'll be able to order that for you, because things are taking at least a month to get here.
And if you believe the doom and gloom that are coming from other retailers, that almost anything that you want to buy for Christmas, you need to, like you say, order it now and get it now.
Yeah, I think it's not really doom and gloom, you know. And people get a bit funny about Christmas anyway, don't they?
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
It's okay. Just buy them this one, because this one's cool. This is a great present.
We just give them vouchers now.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, is it?
So if someone's interested in books, we give them a book voucher or warehouse voucher or whatever. Anyway, we digress.
We do.
You've got a couple of great books for us to have a look at, and we're going to talk about the writer's gig that you've been involved with. So let's have a look, first of all, at Out in the Moana. What's that about?
Oh, look at this. And it's got Mummy and a Baby Seal on the front.
What a great drawing, isn't it?
Isn't it gorgeous? So it's by Yvonne Morrison and Jenny Cooper. And Scholastic have produced the book, have published the book. And it's a counting book for children, but it's much more than that. So we do start with the seal and her pup. And this is out in the Moana, underneath the sparkling sun lived a mother sea lion and her little pup, one. Swim, said the mother. I swim, said the one. So they swam to shore together underneath the sparkling sun. And that is the format set up. So then we have,
look at that.
Mother Maui dolphin and her young dolphin too.
Yes.
There's two, so there's two. And then Father Blue Penguin and his little penguins, three. Fish, said the father. Wee fish, said the three. And on it goes. And because of the... Oh, God, look at that. It's terrifying.
That. Wow.
That's a moray eel.
What a magnificent drawing.
Isn't it an amazing drawing?
Yeah.
But terrifying.
You wouldn't want them biting your tootsie, would you, when you stepped in the water?
Yeah, I know. Let's not terrify ourselves with that. So, and it's got sharks.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
And the mother Mako shark and her little sharks, five. Smile, said the mother. We smile, said the five. I'm not sure those divers are too impressed with their smiling. They're smiling. You might as well smile with teeth like that. And there are seahorses, and there are jellyfish, and there are flounder, and there are crabs, and there are octopuses. And then at the end, you get a little bit more information about all those creatures. So I think it's on many levels, this book. If I was still teaching, which is something I say quite often to you, I would be using... It's got almost like a rap format with the rhyme. I would be getting kids to perform it. You'd be like having little groups of kids, and they could be the sharks, and they could rap it. And I think it would be so cool as a performance piece. But then you get all this information at the back, and it's got the Maori names for the critters that we've met in the book, and it tells you a little bit about their environment and how they live with their parents, or they get kicked out of the nest, or whatever, you know. So I think it's a really educational book. It's a fun read aloud, and it is a visual feast, isn't it?
It is a visual feast, and it's hard to think of who would give the most kudos to for that, the person who wrote it or that magnificent drawing, that artist that was behind those pictures.
It's a package, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
and I think, you know, when you get that sort of dream team of artist and illustrator, because these guys, Yvonne Morrison and Jenny Cooper, have worked before. There's a book that we sell quite a lot of called Down in the Forest, and they do this
that as well.
thing, and they've obviously got some kind of wavelength thing going between the words and the pictures.
It's magnificent.
Yeah, it brings it completely to life, doesn't it?
Wonder how long it takes to put a book like that out. As far as getting the whole package together, probably weeks and months.
Months and months. Yeah.
Anyway, great book. I love it. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Tomo.
The Tomo is by Marianne Scott. Do you remember we've interviewed Marianne Scott for Made in New Zealand? Yes. Yeah, and this is her new book, and this is. It's quite an interesting one, because it's probably young adult, but I think if you've got younger readers and you don't mind a little bit of swearing, then they would be fine. So I would say from a reading age and a comprehension age of about 10, but it's probably recommended for about 12 plus, ideally. So this is based on something that actually happened in real life in Marianne's family, and sort of big farming station up the east coast, and Phil is the hero, and he's about 15 or 16, I think, and he's got an older brother, and he's got a younger brother, a little brother, and the older brother is the one that's hooning around in the utes and working on the farms, and he's kind of the hero of the brothers. Phil's a little bit sort of quieter, and he wears specs, and he's a bit nerdier, and their father is very, very unwell. He's got cancer, and this big sort of station manager chap is not doing so well, and he's got to go off for treatment, and mum's got to farm the kids out for Christmas, and everyone feels stink about it. Yeah. So the older boy's working and doing his own thing, and Phil has to go and stay with a family friend's partner, Chopper.
That's a real bloke's name, isn't it? Chopper.
And he's a real bloke as well. So Phil goes out and he takes their dog, Blue, their heading dog, with him. And Blue is his father's pride and joy, this beautiful dog, and called Blue because he's got one bright blue eye like that, like this real life dog. And so off they go to the station, and the little brother's not happy at all, and he's got to go and stay with Great Aunt Lily or somebody, and it's just awful for the little fella. And anyway, they're told there are these things called Tomos on the land. Do you know what that is? Because I had no idea.
Must look it up.
They're kind of like massive holes, sinkholes that have gone into the ground, and they can drop like hundreds of feet, and they're really dangerous, and they're dangerous for the animals and the dogs and the people. And, stay away. And Phil is out on the land with Blue, the dog, at one stage, and Blue goes down a hole. And then that's sort of the crux of the story, is how you're going to get that dog out.
Yeah.
But what is happening in the story is the family drama of the illness in the family, and how that's really tearing them apart. How mum is so strong and so trying to keep everybody safe and well, but she has to farm the kids out on this particular occasion because dad's got to go for this experimental treatment. And then on the farm, it's the daughter of the farm is environmentally minded, and Dad, I think we should be doing this, this and this, and he's going, you'll do as you're bloody well told, in that very sort of old-fashioned
do as I say,
tough country bloke way. So there's this tension there, and Chopper and Phil don't particularly get on because they've got different ways of looking at things, and Blue doesn't take in the same kind of instruction from Chopper as he does from Phil. So, there's all that complication. And then Blue is the pride and joy of the family, and when Blue comes under such threat, then Phil is, he's like, what am I going to do? I'm not the brave one, but I've got to sort this out.
Yes.
So there's heaps going on in there, and it's really about then how the family and Emma, the young Chopper's stepdaughter, or how they sort of come together to sort the situation out, how the young people save the day.
Oh, that's good.
It's full of drama.
So many threads. Was it easy to read and follow?
Absolutely easy to read and follow. It's gripping absolutely throughout. The only reason that I would say that it's suitable for older readers is because Marianne's done this cracking good job of it being very authentic in the language that's used. And of course, on a farm, occasionally, especially when something happens that's so dramatic like this, the occasional F-bomb may be dropped.
I can almost believe that might happen. Yes.
So it's not gratuitous at all.
It's real Kiwi life.
Yeah, it's really appropriately used and sparingly used, but there's the odd swear word.
What would you give out of 10?
Oh, it's 10 out of 10, because I think a lot of kids that are reluctant readers as well, they want to read something that they're familiar with, and they want that kind of drama and that kind of, if you've got a kid that is a hunter or goes out in the bush or whatever, they don't necessarily want to read about these fantasy worlds and dystopian things and trilogies of this, that and the other. But if you can put this into their hands, then that's going to encourage them to read.
Is it going to appeal to a cross-section, or is it going to appeal to those people who might live in that farming environment more?
Well, a cross-section, because I'm not anything to do with the farming world, and I have some quite interesting views on farming. We were just talking about vegetarianism and veganism.
Yes, we were.
But I have enjoyed... This is the third... Marianne also wrote Sticking with Pigs, which was a pig hunting one, and Spiro, which was a spearfishing one. I thoroughly enjoy them.
Yeah.
It's the quality of the writing and the storytelling that's important.
Absolutely right. And speaking of writing, you're going to tell us about the writing gig that you've been involved with, or still are involved with.
Yes. So I'm the chair of the Readers Writers Trust, which organises the Hawke's Bay Readers Writers Festival, and we are a team of 5 volunteers. So we've all got actual jobs.
Yes.
And then in other bits of our time, we've organised the Hawke's Bay Readers and Writers Festival, which runs within the Hawke's Bay Arts Festival, which is on right now. And I urge people to go on to Hawke's Bay Arts Festival, hbaf.co.nz, and look at the programme. So our weekend, the Writers' Weekend, is Friday the 29th, Saturday the 30th, Sunday the 31st of October. So it's the last weekend of the month. And we have, I can't remember how many offhand, 5 or 6 events that are going to be absolutely cracking. So Kyle Mewburn's coming, and she's been on Phoebe Wilton-Stewart's show, The Gay Agenda, and she's going to talk about transitioning, how at the age of 50, Kyle admitted to herself and her, well, she'd known for a while, but to the rest of her world that he was a she.
Yeah, cool.
And she's going to talk about that candidly, and I think that's going to be really interesting and educational for a lot of us. And we've got Kath Irvin, who's done a book called The Edible Garden, so that's going to be amazing for your gardening fiends who want to grow more veggies and use their land to its full possibilities. And we've got the She Is Not Your Rehab team of Matt and Sarah Brown, who are committed to stopping cycles of family harm. That's really going to be amazing. And we've got a crime one called Dead Girls Don't Lie. And that's Becky Manawatu, who wrote Aware, which was the Ockham Book Award winner a couple of years ago. And Jacqueline Bublitz, whose book, oh gosh, Before You Knew My Name. I knew it would come to me. I love that book so much too. That's a sort of unravelling whodunit, who has done this, but not so much that as let's talk about the victim. Let's put the focus back on the victim in the narrative. And Tina Clough, who has written 3 books in the Hunter Grant series, and the latest one is called Folded. So they're going to talk about narratives of murder mysteries. So we've got all sorts going on.
Sounds fascinating, doesn't it?
Hop onto the festival website and get your tickets.
Do you normally find that, just as an aside, that writers of that calibre in particular, for instance, that they're forthcoming? I mean, or do you find that some writers are like they're within themselves, they get into their study and they're typing it away and they don't want to talk to the public? How does it work normally?
I think it's a mix, because writers are people too, and I suppose it's quite hard for some writers because it can be quite a solitary experience. So some would be introverted people, but some aren't, and they're quite happy just to talk about it for a long time. And I think then that there's a certain skill in an interviewer to ask those right questions and really draw it out.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. But I'm confident that this lineup is going to be just epic.
It will be fabulous. Now, if we want to get a ticket for that gig, how do we do that?
So if you hop on to hbaf.co.nz, which is the Hawke's Bay Arts Festival website, and they've got all the categories at the top, and Readers Writers is one. And but I would suggest you click on all events and you go through it all and see what you want to go to.
Absolutely. Good on you, Lou. As always, my pleasure. If we want any of these fabulous books, where do we get them?
Wardini Books, why not?
Exactly. Talk to the same time, same place next time.
Cool, thanks, Ken.